guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Today we're going to talk about Uncle Potato Head, creepy Joe Biden, sniffing on girls again and telling them no serious guys until you're 30. So here we have arguably one of the more powerful men in a government telling women the kind of the feminist line: don't settle down, don't get serious until you're in a more serious relationship. As always, this has nothing to do with politics. I would be calling out anybody. I hate all government, and anybody that tells me what to do should go rot in hell. But since this guy, Joe Biden here, obviously is currently the leader of the semi-free world right now, we're going to talk about it. So Creepy Joe comes out and tells young girls, no serious guys until you're 30. And I'm going to read the story, and then I'm going to talk about what happens to these girls if they take his advice, because it's not good. It's just not good. They say President Biden raised eyebrows on Friday when he got a little too close for comfort to a young woman during an event in Irvine, California, after delivering remarks at Irvine Valley College where he talked about his administration's plans to reduce inflation and lower prescription costs. Biden stopped for photos with a young woman, put his arm on her shoulder, and offered her some unsolicited dating advice. And I'll read that in a minute, or I'll play the video in a minute. But anyway, he said, no, very important thing. I told my daughters and granddaughters, no serious guys till you're 30. And he's told this to like a 12-year-old girl. And she says, okay, she says awkwardly, I'll keep that in mind. And it was captured by a reporter. And then they show a bunch of pictures of him sniffing and grabbing on women. Hugging them, I guess you could call it. So I want to play this video real quick. But again, this girl's just, there's no reason to touch her. There's no reason to lean into her. There's no reason to even give her this advice. Like, shut up.
Look at Dan.
Now, very important thing I told my daughter.
Let me pause it here for just a second. I want to bring it back a second. Look at this guy. He knows what's going to happen. He's like, because you watch him, he looks for the hand.
Look at Dan.
Now, very important thing I told my daughter and granddaughters: no serious guys till you're 30.
Okay. No what?
No serious guys till you're 30.
I'll keep that in mind. At least.
And then the Secret Service guy starts leaning in like, hey, like stop filming him being creepy, please. I can't tell, but let me pause this. I can't tell, but when she was smiling and stuff, it doesn't look like she even has all her adult teeth in. It still looks like her canines are baby teeth. I mean, we're Creepy Joe. And here's the other thing. I wanted to talk about this as well, because this is the message that's coming out from many of our government people here in the United States, which is, hey, you know what? It's okay to not have a family or a relationship. It's okay not to get married. It's okay to be kind of weird. And this story, watch a contender, and this is from Post Millennial, a contender, and they say watch contender for New York congressional seat releases a spicy tape to lure in voters. Now, no, you can't watch it. I did go look at it, however. It's over on one of the popular sites. I'll highlight it. He's not an exciting guy. They should have gotten a cameraman, and it only had 39% upvotes, even though it's been viewed like 350,000 times. I will admit that the gal that he was with, she's got a couple extra pounds, but she wasn't bad looking, so good on him, I guess. He says the fact I did it was huge learning experience, and it actually influenced items on my platform. Mike Itkis said of making the tape. A third-party U.S. House candidate. So this isn't Democrat or Republican. This is just a third party. And he says he's a Ukrainian-born U.S. Army veteran who's expected to lose to longtime Democratic Congressman Rep. Jerry Nadler in the race for New York Congress 12th. And they say he says he's a registered Democrat. So maybe he's running as independent or something, but he's registered Democrat who describes himself as very liberal and enlists the help of a spicy film star, Nicole Sage, to promote sex positivity, reported the New York Post. The two participated in a 13-minute long tape entitled Bucket List Bonanza. What a bad name. It's not you're not having a bonanza. You're literally marking one thing off your bucket list, which is filming yourself. And many of you that have relationships or adventurous partners have already crossed that off your list. You just didn't put it public. But it was uploaded to Prawn and then the Hub as a conversation piece. This is who's in our government now. And again, I know these aren't like TV stars and Hollywood actors and all, but they're in on it too. So now you've got the government, now you've got Hollywood, now you've got musicians, now you've got everybody that's saying, hey, you know what, a traditional relationship and love and a single partner and getting married young or getting serious young is bad. Like, just be out there and have fun. And I'll tell you something, as far as long-term relationships, you're going to have a hard time. We've talked about this. Women struggle with pair bonding. They struggle with not having wandering eyes. They struggle with not always looking for something bigger and better. And I have some studies on this. This is from The Atlantic. Fewer sex partners means a happier marriage. People who have slept with fewer people seem to be more satisfied after they tie the knot. Is there hope for promiscuous romantics? The answer to that is usually no. It depends on who's the more promiscuous one, men or women. And I don't know if they get into that. But again, it's the ability to pair bond. Guys can detach the emotional from the physical, where women struggle with that, even if they say they can. And this is from the HuffPost, and this is going back 8 years, but I just did a quick search. New study claims people who've had more sexual partners report unhappier marriages. And they say the same thing. Does your sexual history affect your romantic future? A widely reported new study claims that people, especially women who have had multiple partners before tying the knot, report unhappier marriages down the line. The study comes from the National Marriage Project, based off research from two University of Denver professors, Galena K. Rhodes and Scott M. Stanley, who looked at a relationship data collected from 2007 to 2008 of 1,000 unmarried Americans ages 18 to 34. During the following 5 years, 418 got married. Rhodes and Stanley took a closer look at those marriages to see if factors including participants' sexual past played a role in current marital quality. Couples' relationship quality was measured using a 4-item version of the dyadic adjustment scale, focusing on relationship happiness, thoughts about separation, frequency of confiding in one another, and a general item about how well things are going. The full scale, however, contains 32 items. According to the researchers, the 23% of participants who only had sex with their spouse prior to getting hitched reported higher quality marriages versus those who had had other past sexual partners as well. They claim that this finding is especially true for women. Writing on the report, we further found that the more sexual partners a woman had before marriage, the less happy she reported her marriage to be. On top of that, researchers say that participants who lived with a significant other who did not become their future spouse also reported unhappier marriages. So basically, they said, hey, the fewer partners that you have, and of course the fewer people that you live with, obviously, because then you'd be sleeping with that person, the happier you were. And I think the importance is not, let me mute my phone here, it's buzzing on me. I think the happier, I think the more important information is here. It's not even necessarily if you're getting married. They just grabbed the married people out of this. But if you found somebody, and I firmly believe this, if you found somebody and kept them as a partner without getting married, the odds of you staying together and being happy are just as good, except you don't have the back-end threat of financial punishment to the man and financial gain to the woman on a divorce. But of course, you have to somehow find out if they've been in a long-term relationship or not. Marriage is a good way to do that. And I'm not going to read through the whole thing. There's a little bit more to this, but what I think is interesting is that who does this punish the most? Well, this punishes women the most. Because again, men do much better without a spouse. Men do much better. And all the studies that said men are happier and live longer, or not happier, but men live longer and are healthier that are married, Sure, because their wives make them give up the motorcycles. They're not allowed to go out and drink and have fun at the pub every weekend, and maybe they eat a little better and they go to the doctor more often. But they don't talk about how many men are miserable even though they're living longer. I mean, that part of it's true. But the overall takeaway that I kind of want to make sure to talk about here is that, you know, when this all happens, men will adjust. Men will be fine having a lot of guy friends, and then when they need their sexual needs to be met, they'll go hire a professional, they'll go casually date, they'll go do something else. You notice that a lot of guys in their 30s and 40s, once they've kind of gotten past the, okay, I'm going to be a bachelor, I'm going to be single, they focus on work and hobbies and passions and having like-minded friends around them. Women seem to turn into really angry, bitter feminists who hate men. It's usually the people that tend to dislike women and get all butthurt over not being selected or not being loved by young women is young men. And once men kind of find their own path and get past that part in their life, they don't seem to have nearly as many problems. You know, you don't hear about a 60-year-old guy that maybe involuntarily can't date or can't be with a woman, and he's the one that's going out and carving up the world. No, it's always somebody that's, you know, 15, 16, 17, 18, maybe 20, 22. It's always in that very young group of young men who kind of fall off the rails a little bit. So I think, you know, again, with this kind of advice, with the kind of advice that Biden's putting out there, with this guy, you know, our politicians now getting out to this stuff I mean, in the past, even 10 years ago, maybe, if someone got caught, a politician got caught coming out with some sort of tape or he was caught on camera with some woman he's not married to, it would have been the end of his political career. But now this is something that is being championed and cheered on by the left. If a politician was walking around telling young women, hey, don't get married and, you know, just stay single until you're 30, again, same kind of thing. It would have been like, what are you doing? Why are you telling this to like, this isn't your child. Shut up. Who cares? But now, not only is it okay, it's actually cheered on by some people. Just keep that in mind as we kind of continue going forward, that, you know, they're going to push this. More women are going to come out damaged from this. We won't see the effects of this damage maybe for another 20, 30, 40 years. Thank God I'll be dead by then. Actually, no, I'm planning to live to be 100. Thank God I'll be 80 or 90 by then. And I don't have to worry about it, because then if things collapse, I'm close enough to death's door. I can exit peacefully. But for you younger guys that are, you know, in your 20s and maybe even 30s, this is going to be something you need to pay attention to, because these are the people you're going to have to share a society with.